Hello everybody and welcome to my Vorkath guide. I've been wanting to make one for a while, so I'm nearly at 1,000 kills and I thought this is about time where I'm worthy of making a guide, so I'm going to. First off, the requirements are obviously Dragon Slayer 2 to unlock the boss in the first place, so get that done, you lazy cunts, because this boss is the way to go right now, especially with the Dragon Hunter crossbow. It's absolutely murky. 85 to 90 range I'd say, or if not higher, but I hope most people who are going to be doing this have around that level anyway. Also, the teleports that you need to get there, there's 3 teleports you can use to get there that are all decent. The Relica teleport tab is like the worst. Well, I'll just show you how to get there with these other options right now, so I'll do that quickly. If you're going to use the Relica tabs because you haven't done Dream Mentor or you haven't got the sea boots, first you need some scroll of redirections, which you can get from Nightmare's own shop, so you just need to get a few points. I think they're 750 each. Get a bunch of these and then just use them on your house tabs, and then you get this nice little thing here and you can choose which one you put it on, but Relica is there. I couldn't find it for a second, but yeah, you use that. It takes you a bit further away than what you would want to be, so yeah, this is like kind of the last option. So if you haven't done the Fremenic Elite Diaries, I'm pretty sure you have to have not done them to do this, and you have to have no Seal of Passage with you, because you can use this bank booth without a Seal of Passage. If you've done Dream Mentor, you can use this, do your banking shit, and then talk to this guy here, and then you skip through a little conversation, and it will teleport you right where the Fremenic Sea Boots do, which is right next to where you kill Vorkath. So I'll go and show you now where it takes you to. I learned this from watching Perp's video recently, so I thought I'd throw this in here just because it's a little extra bonus. I don't know where he found it out from, but I never even fucking heard of this until I'd seen it from him. So yeah, the teleport would take you right. Where's my fucking boots? Here they are. That teleport would take you closer than a Relica. I should have brought the Relica tab with me. I'm a fucking mess. But yeah, this is where it takes you. Pretty much the exact same spot as the boots, or it can take you like up here, I think, as well. I think the Relica tab brings you. Does it bring? I think it brings you outside the house teleport, which is quite a bit further down. So yeah, Relica tab is definitely the last option. Fremenic Sea Boots are the best, and then going to the Lunar Isle places after that, I'd say. Now I'll get into the gear. So my gear is going to be a lot different because I use weird shit. First off, use Void if you've got it. I only use Third Age because I like the look of it, and it's like I might as well use this somewhere rather than just having it in my bank and not using it. So yeah, I use Third Age when I'm using the blowpipe because I just like the look of it. But when I use the Dragon Hunter crossbow, I'm using Void. So yeah, with the setup, I just use full Third Age range, or if not, Void, obviously. Your blowpipe, your ranger boots, all that good shit. Just your best range offense. When it comes to your spec weapon, because if you're doing 1-kill trips, you definitely want to be using a spec weapon to lower his defense, either a Dragon Warhammer or a BGS. So I use a Dragon Warhammer since I'm 60 attack. Obviously, the crush bonus items are the only ones that are going to help me hit with the crush weapon. So the Tyrannical Ring, the Cape, and the Dragon Warhammer itself. The other weapons are just there to, if I do hit, I hit bigger, basically. And because when I'm doing 1-kill trips, I don't need that much food. I have a lot of space to just carry extra shit with me. So carrying stuff that gives me extra bit damage if I do hit my specs doesn't really matter too much because it's not like I need the extra inventory space anyway. So yeah, I just bring the Fremenic Helm, the Mythical Cape, Torso, Rune Boots, Tyrannical Ring, Defender, and Dragon Hunter crossbow. And then for range, I just bring my full Third Age range, Blowpipe, my Accumulator, Ranger Boots, Salve Amulet, and the Archer's Ring. Also, for your Blowpipe, you only need Adamant Darts, nothing better than that. And yes, it's a Berserker Helm, not a Fremenic Helm. I'm an idiot. For your inventory setup, you're going to need 1 combat potion, 1 ranging potion, 1 anti-venom plus, and a super anti-fire. Also, your melee gear is going to be there, obviously. And then for food, because I'm only doing 1-kill trips and I'm using just the blowpipe on its own, I only bring 4 manta rays and 4 Quam ones with me because I never need more than that. And that means I've got enough space to pick up the loot if I don't eat any food. So yeah, that's all I need for food and potions. The only other things you need to bring with you is your rune pouch to bring your Crumble Undead spell, which you need air, earth, and chaos runes for to one-hit that little ice thing that gets you. Also, your Fremenic boots for your teleport, or unless you're using another teleport way, just use that. And your house teleports for the your ornate pool, so you can regen your spec if you're doing a 1-kill method, like I said. Unless, if not, then just wait for later in the guide, and I'll give you the other method. But yeah, that's it for inventory and gear setup. Let's get into the actual kill. When I'm only using my blowpipe, I don't bother bringing prayer pots because I like prayer flicking, so I just do that so I don't waste extra money. But yeah, you can just bring 1 prayer pot with you, which I forgot to say, just throw it in there somewhere. But I don't personally use them unless I'm using the crossbow method. First thing you want to do is obviously hop over the ball and poke Vorkath to wake him up, and then get ready to spec him. Obviously drink a combat potion and all your other pots. throw your prayers up. If you don't land a spec, don't worry, you can still kill him. I remember people used to say don't bother killing him if you can't land a spec. No, you can, it's easy. So just, yeah, I miss, whatever. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Start firing at him. So let's go through his different attacks. This is his standard mage attack. You'll see it's just like a blue orb. It has a max hit of 30, so it's never really going to kill you, and also you're praying for mage anyway if you're using just a blowpipe, so you'll be fine. This random spiky ball thing is his ranged attack, and it can hit up to 32, so definitely watch out for that since you're not praying range. And yeah, that's about it. This will be your biggest food intake as well. We'll be getting hit by this. Here's his standard Dragonfire attack. Since you're praying mage and you've got anti-fire sipped, you will only take up to like 8 to 10 damage or something like that. So don't worry about it unless you forgot to sip your potion or your prayer drops down. You're going to get hit up to maybe 72, so definitely watch out for this attack. This is exactly the same as the last attack except from it's just venom with it, so that's the reason you bring anti-venom for. So you just sip your anti-venom and it's exactly the same as the last attack, and you just make sure you don't have your prey off and you'll be fine. Again, another Dragonfire attack, except from when it hits you, it just turns your prayers off, so all you do is just turn it back on again, and it hits the same amount as the other ones through prayer, like up to 10 or something. Here it is in a kill, just so you can see what it looks like. Turn the prayer back on straight after. You don't need to click on him, I don't know why I clicked on him. This here is his bomb attack, and it can hit up to 121, but you've got a lot of time to react to it, and you can even attack in between it if you're using a blowpipe like this. You just need to make sure you're 2 steps away. This is another one of his special attacks. It can't actually do any damage to you, so don't worry about that, but it will freeze you and you won't be able to attack the boss, and it will shoot out a little spawn thing, and you need to use your Crumble Undead spell then. You have basically 2 chances to click it by using the spell in case you misclick, and then it will get close and just blow up on you, and he can hit you quite high unless you damage him a little bit before he hits you. Then you can maybe lower the HP that he hits down on you. But yeah, look, there you go. You just click on it, click on him, he blows up, you're all good. This is the last attack we are covering, and it is the Acid Pools, and it is linked to the last attack, which is the White Dragonfire one that freezes you. Basically, every 6 attacks Vorkath does, you will get one of these, and it's not random, it's in a sequence. So if you get the Acid Pools, 6 attacks later, you're going to get the one where he freezes you, vice versa. So from the very moment you get in there, if you really wanted to, you can just start counting, so you know when you're going to get one. But this is the only one that's really going to be a bit of a problem for you to learn, but we'll get into that now. So just know that every 6 attacks, he will do one of these, either this or the White Dragonfire that freezes you. You can actually tell when he's about to do his Acid Pools attack because he actually has more of an exaggerated action. But anyway, as soon as you see it happening, try and run a bit diagonally and to the very bottom of where the stones are. Running backwards and towards the stones will give you enough time to see where the Acid Pools have landed and for you to take a place where you want to stand. So I know where I've clicked is perfectly fine. I'd highly recommend that you move at least 2 squares back on your first shot so you can get the timing right. You can see here I click a bunch of times backwards away from me, and as soon as I shoot Vorkath, I wait until I see myself just about to start walking forwards and I click backwards then. Then I attack Vorkath, and then 1 tick later I have to click behind me a few steps, and I just repeat that over and over again, and I can dodge all of his attacks here. I'll show you how you can just learn how to do this without knowing about ticks and ways to make it so like you can just do it visually by just looking at what your character's doing so you know when to click. One of the main things to know about stepping on Vorkath is first, if you have your run off, it just makes things way easier. To never let your character stop at all, so if you're clicking to the very back spot, don't actually wait until you hit the back spot before you click on Vorkath. You need to hit like 2 squares before and then let your character flow into it, and that means you won't get hit by Vorkath and your character will just be in the right momentum. As you can see, walking to the back allows me to have more time to anticipate that shot, so I know when to click behind me. Like then, I knew I was going to shoot then, so I had enough time to do it. So walking all the way to the back makes it easier. So a good way to do this without knowing about ticks is just watching what your character does. So you can see when he goes backwards, you can see he sort of turns his body towards the back of the room just at the very end, and that's when you want to be clicking. So you're clicking when your character's like tweaking at the back. And you know when to click backwards because as soon as you reach that front square, that's when your player will shoot. So as soon as you hit that front square, your player will shoot, and that's when you need to move backwards. Obviously, this is going to feel super crazy at first, and you're going to be clicking really fast, like click, 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 click. And then after a while, you realize how fast you actually have to click, and it's not as bad. And you're going to have to die a few times to get used to it, but I think it's much better learning how to do it than just never learning it and just walking away and not doing any damage. I think it just looks boring, and yeah, it's way funner to learn how to step anyway. Back in normal motion now, so we can see what it's really like. Hitting Vorkath before I actually hit the back, so I flow into it rather than standing still and taking a few hits. Make sure you're always keeping your character in flow. Same as this part really, and just keeping up that same rotation of click, 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 click. Sounds like I'm wanking, but that's how fast you want to be doing it. So here we are again, but this time not going the whole way to the back, which you'll start doing when you get more comfortable with it. But yet again, it's just that same tempo. You can even count whilst clicking to make it easier. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like these are the type of things I was doing for me to like help ingrain it in my head, and then eventually it just becomes something you can do subconsciously. If you leave some prayers on that you obviously don't need in this stage, you can just turn them off by doing this. So you just click backwards, and then on the way past, turn it off and then click onto Vorkath. Since it's easier doing that than clicking Vorkath, turning off your prayer, and then clicking behind you, because there's a lot more of a precision click. So always go from behind you and then onto Vorkath. So click behind you, prayer, Vorkath, and then you can just keep the rotation going. Here's a good example of the tweaking thing I was talking about earlier. When he turns his body to the back, that's when you know when to click onto Vorkath. So you can see bang, bang, bang. As soon as he tweaks backwards is when you're clicking on Vorkath. That's basically it to do with the step in. I just say the main things to remember is definitely always keep your player in flow and don't allow your player to stand still at any points. Because you've got your run off, you can get stacked damage quite big since it's attacking you once every tick, which is less than a second, so you're going to get piled really fast. So yeah, keep your player in flow, like I said, and don't wait until you hit that square that you clicked on. Just wait 2 squares before and then click on the boss, and it will allow your player to still hit that square, but it will flow into it rather than hitting it, standing still for a tick, and then moving out, because you will get hit. You will get hit. And then just look at the tweak of when your player moves backwards, so you know when to click on Vorkath, and as soon as you hit that top step is when you move backwards. So yeah, I'm going to get onto the Void setup now with the crossbow and the extremely fast kills. This is the infantry setup for the crossbow method. Bring Ruby and Diamond bolts. The Ruby bolts absolutely rip and hit up to 100 a few times a kill sometimes. Bring your blowpipe as per usual. You don't need a spec when you're using a Dragon Hunter crossbow because it's accurate enough. The same potions but with 2 prayer pots, and then just a shitload of sharks. So it's pretty much the same inventory but without the melee gear. And then your setup is just the same again but with Void, anti-fire shield or any kind of anti-dragon fire shield that you can use, and your crossbow. And then everything else is the same as before: salve amulet, ranger boots, your accumulator, but you just got Void on instead. So yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same but just with crossbow, bolts, and quick kills. So here you can see the effect of them Ruby bolts hitting 100 on Vorkath, and I'd recommend using these Ruby bolts all the way down to 40% HP and then bring out the diamonds. When you're using a Dragon Hunter crossbow, obviously you're going to have an anti-fire shield on, so you don't need to use Prey Mage, so you just keep Prey range up, and yeah, you barely take any damage the whole kill sometimes. The Acid Pulse attack is the exact same thing, except from obviously you just have to switch to your your blowpipe rather than not having to switch to anything, and yeah, it's the exact same things before, just backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. But with this method, using a Dragon Hunter crossbow, I mean, I can get like 6 kill trips sometimes. I think this is a 6 kill trip, the one I'm commenting on right now. So I'll show the loot at the end. But yeah, it's the exact same kill as before, except from you're just using a Dragon Hunter crossbow and you've got a full inventory of food and no spec weapon. If your inventory's full up of food and you've just got a drop, just pick up the expensive items and drop food that you know will carry you through that next kill. And by the end of the trip, you'll be able to pick everything up apart from the hides. Most of the time, you can't really pick up the hides, but that don't matter because you're getting an insane amount of kills per trip. So here's the loot at the end of the 6 kill trip. I think it came to about 800k in total, and the trip only took about 13 to 15 minutes. So the money here is absolutely insane right now. Obviously the Dragon Hunter crossbow is like 80 mil, but if you've got the money for it, buy it. If not, just use the blowpipe. You can still make a decent amount of money. But with the Dragon Hunter crossbow, it is pretty OP at the moment. So get there whilst you can. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my guide. I'm really hoping I didn't leave anything out. I hope you guys learn how to do the step as well. That's the main thing I put this guide out for, is I want more people stepping, alright? Don't waste time walking around like a little pussy, alright? Learn how to step, die a few times, whatever. It's a game. You'll get it and you'll feel good.